right, well, it's about 6 in the morning, and I had to come out here and check on these guys because they were bellowing. Man, they were just making a lot of noise this morning, and I said, you know what, let me go out and check on them because they usually only make noise when they're hungry. And I was making a decision last night if I should, oh man, look what I got all over my hand. You know, it's too early for this, truthfully. Gotta get that off. Nasty. Just starting the day. But anyway, I had them on that pasture over there, and they were running out of. Last night I said, it's 𝐸𝐿𝐴𝐿, should we move them? And I said, you know what, let's give them one more. Give them the rest of the night. And man, 5 in the morning, they're howling and doing their thing. And finally I said, it's Sunday morning, I'm getting up. Let me go move these guys. And you could see, as soon as I moved them, they started running, and they were excited to get out here. But it's also a good opportunity when they're eating and getting their bellies full to take a look at them and see, you know, who's who and what's what. And you know, when you look at the rear end on some of these, let me zoom in, you can see that they got some crap on their rears. You can kind of see that as a common theme. So it kind of validates what we've been doing in a way, or what we're going to do, which is move them onto their winter pasture this afternoon, and then we'll hit them with dry bales. And what we've seen in the past is when you have cows that, you know, you can see Patrick's rear over there. Let me zoom in. When you start to see that, it's usually telling you, it's a good sign that says, hey, it's running right through them. The grasses are running right through them, and you need something to bind them up. I know a few summers ago, we have great grass, beautiful growth. And then all of a sudden we look out and we're like, man, those cows kind of look thin. They look thin. And you'll see some of the moms will look a little bit thin right now. They, you know, they're getting nursed on pretty hard. But we started to see a trend like amongst the group. We're like, man, they look thin. They look thin. What the heck's going on? And then as soon as we introduced some dry matter, some dry hay to them, everything changed. It like binded them up, and then everything started to stay in them. I guess I'm trying to say it would be like the equivalent of a human that has diarrhea, and then all of a sudden they keep eating rice and rice and rice and rice, and eventually they're no longer bound up. So that's really what I'm getting at. So we found that it kind of works the same way with the cows, and we've just been seeing that, and that's why this afternoon we're gonna move everybody. But you can see we have some really nice grass in here. I'm a little bit mad at myself today because I went in the pasture that they were just in, and they ate a little too much down. And when they eat a little too much down, it just means that it's gonna take even longer for it to come back. So here we are right now in the middle of July. You know, for grazing season here, we have probably 4, 6, maybe 10 weeks left, maybe 11. So that's very discouraging to even think of. But we really have to manage the pasture well, because obviously the closer to September you get, or October rather, the more things start to pull back, and the more you have to worry about, you know, your forages. And you know, for us, you know, because the hay is $40 plus a bale, and we feed 4 a day, you could imagine that we really don't want to be we don't want to be on hay anytime soon. So the longer we could delay that financial cash burn, the happier we are. So looks like this young lady's in heat, potentially, because we got a lot of bulls that are kind of following her. But on another note, look, there's nothing better than coming out in the morning and being out here. Nobody's up. Nobody's driving down the road, which is beautiful. Doesn't happen very often here. And then come out and check the cows. You know, who's performing, who's not. You know, who's slick. You know, whose body condition, like this one, beautiful. That's what we're looking for right there. Nice and slick. Again, some of the mothers you could see, like, you know, they're a little bit on the thinner side. So we got to figure that out and see if they need any kind of supplementation, you know, or whatnot. But we got to fatten like this one. She definitely can use more energy, and because her calf's been sucking her down pretty good. So again, right now, you know, this is a full 100% grass-fed herd. You know, come the winter up here, though, we're gonna definitely be using some corn silage, just because it helped our herd last year so much survive. You know, the year before we lost a lot of cows, and this past winter was even colder, brutally cold. And thank God everybody was healthy. Look at this little guy. Look at this little black Angus. Everybody was super healthy, and it really, really worked in our favor. So we just made some executive decisions here that that's what we're going to do for those months out of the year. And what we're also going to do is we're going to go through the herd prior to the cold season and say, look, this cow's in good condition and favorable, going to make it without an issue. You know, this one's not, let's move this one out. You know, we can't have cows that don't have condition coming off of summer. So we're gonna make those decisions. Probably we'll start making them here in the next 6 weeks. You know, who's really benefited from a good, strong summer grazing season, and who is gonna need to not be here. Look at this little guy, little Angus right there. Look at that tough face right there. That's what we're looking for. That little grill. So, but overall, like you can see, like our herd is so well behaved. It's an amazing herd that we've been building over the years. Lauren tells me I have to shrink the herd down. I probably should. But at the same time, you know, we've been working really hard here to make sure that every class of calves that we drop, you know, looks better and better every year. So we've moved out a lot of our first generation calves that weren't performing, and our second generation calves that weren't performing. So now it's like, you know, you start looking around, you start liking what you're seeing. We really like the way the group looks here, and we're very happy with it. You know, all the calves now have a lot of 100% Angus, you know, sires. So the fathers are really bringing us good genetics, which we feel good about, and ultimately over time that's just going to strengthen our herd. I always say, you know, my goal, and I don't think it's feasible up here where we are in this region. So, you know, who knows, maybe at some point we'll be out of the region. I would love to have a huge herd. I'd love to have a herd of a few thousand head. That would be pretty amazing. Just to feel that power and to be around that would be pretty cool and pretty amazing. But here, like I said, when you can start to consider the grazing season and how short it is, you can imagine how many acres you need to have a herd of, say, even 500 head. And how much, most importantly, the financial investment of how much hay that you would need to get through that winter. I mean, again, $40 a bale. You know, I bet you we'd be going through, about 16 bales to 20 bales a day. So, you know, that's an $800 cost per day to run a cow operation with that many head of cattle. So we're not going to do that. because it's hard enough. So for us, you know, the goal is to, you know, build out a partner network of farms that we work with. And by the way, look at this beautiful coat here. We have 2 cows here that have these brindle coats, and they are beautiful. So anyway, as we build out a network, a farmer network of, you know, very passionate farmers that love, you know, good grazing techniques and tactics. I mean, that's what we're looking for, because you can't do the amount of, look at this new calf right here. Look at this little baby. Hi, baby. This calf here is just about a day, about 3 days old. So anyway, you can't do it all yourself. When we started, that was the goal. Like, we're gonna keep everything tight and closed, but it's really difficult to do everything yourself, and actually it's not smart, because that's another new little Angus right there. You just you put a lot of pressure on yourself trying to do everything yourself. So why do it? You know, find some great people that you could work with. And I think that's her baby right there, because I saw him with her last night. She's a nice red Angus, gorgeous. And this is a beautiful black calf here. But you could just see the body, like our bodies of our calves have just been getting better and better. Nice flat backs, athletic, strong, only a couple days old. I mean, that's what we're looking for. That is really what we're looking for. So anyway, not to bore you guys, but I appreciate you listening to us and being a part of the channel, and most importantly, being a part of the farm and coming out here with us and enjoying our journey as much as we are. Like I said, I'm honest with you. I try to deliver stories that are truthful and not just utopian. Farming's hard. Farming requires a lot of you on a day-to-day basis. Farming comes with a lot of worry. Farming comes with a lot of you know, situations that you have to work through and deal with. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the channel, and I hope you enjoy being out here at the ranch with us. And we're having Freedom Fest September 13th this year. So if you guys can make it, we'd love to have you. We do a big farm party here. Last year we had 850 people. We have rides, we have games for the kids, we have food, pig roast. It's sort of our day to go all out, and we hope you can come and go all out with us. So we just hope you guys have a great day, have a great night, have a great life, and we'll talk to you soon. If you need meat, we are freedomfarms.com. See ya. Comments down below too, only positive.